That is one of the greatest and easiest barbecue dishes ever invented.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell us about Project Smoke, because I have all of your books. I love your stuff. John Carney, our afternoon host, thinks you walk on water. Yeah, sure. So tell us about Project Smoke.
Well, I touch it. Basically, the book arose out of a simple paradox, and that is that all barbecued foods are smoked, of course, but not all smoked foods are barbecue. Think about bacon or think about smoked salmon. Those are foods that are smoked but not barbecued. So it really made me realize that while I've touched on smoking in a lot of my books, I've never really focused on it in a big way. And the idea of writing Project Smoke, like the companion TV show on PBS, was actually to really focus on smoke, explain smoking, how to do it in a backyard grill, how to use a smoker, how to do it indoors, how to smoke every imaginable food from cocktails to desserts.
Is it true, Stephen, that smoking and barbecue, it's really the first 10 minutes is the most important part?
Well, it's true that with grilling, the first 10 minutes is the most important part. But with smoking, no, I wouldn't say that at all. I mean, especially if you're smoking a brisket for somewhere upwards of 10 to 12 hours, 10 minutes is barely an eye blink.
But it is the first half or the first part of the cooking process that makes it the most important. Would you agree with that?
Well, for me, smoke is all about the old adage, slow and steady wins the race. You want to dose your smoke evenly throughout the cook process. Now, if you wrap, and I do like to wrap briskets in butcher paper about 3/4 of the way through, you don't need to smoke after that. But, there's something I call, it's guy think, and the way we guys think is that if some is good, more is better. So, there are people who think that if you're going to use, let's say, 12 cups of wood chips over the space of an 8-hour smoke, add them all at the beginning, front load it, get the job done fast. And that you do not want to do.
Good to know. Stephen Raistlin, is a wood better at smoking than another?
Well, woods are kind of the spice of barbecue, and each one has a slightly different flavor. And I try and use the wood associated with a particular region. I mean, like in Texas, people didn't set out to smoke with oak because they necessarily liked the flavor profile. They grabbed what grew on their farms and around their communities and used that for smoking. If I were to name you kind of the one wood I think works with everything, it would be oak. Hickory's another wood I really like. Apple's another wood I really like. Only wood you kind of need to be careful with is mesquite because it puts out a very strong smoke, and that smoke can become kind of bitter if overdone.
There's a bar in town that smokes the wine glass before they put the wine in. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have, and as a matter of fact, in Project Smoke, you'll see a picture of what I call a smoking dragon, and it is a cocktail made with mezcal. And you smoke the wine glass, you pour the cocktail into it, and then you serve it with the smoke billowing out. Now, I've never actually experienced it with wine, but it sounds like a pretty interesting concept. The tool you'd use for that is something called a handheld smoker. One common brand is a smoking gun.
I was going to ask, what is the most unusual thing that you have smoked?
I think that would probably be ice cream, which has sort of become a Stephen Reichlin specialty. And there are many ways to do it. You can use a handheld smoker. You can freeze kind of a pedestal of ice and place the ice cream on it and place it in a smoker. Beauty of smoked ice cream, it sort of gives vanilla ice cream that perfect quality that you would get in a toasted marshmallow.
Yeah, that's interesting because wouldn't the smoke melt the ice cream?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have to work fast, and that's why I suggest placing the ice cream on a slab of ice first. So unlike what I said earlier about dosing the smoke slowly and steadily for meats, when you smoke ice cream, you want to front load it because you want to get a lot of smoke in before the ice cream has a chance to melt.
Stephen Reichlin, the book is called Project Smoke. You're going to be at St. Charles City County Library on Friday night for a book signing and a book reading and taking a whole bunch of questions. How did you get into all of this cooking and barbecue and smoking?
I got a degree in French literature, and I took a wrong turn.
So you were classically trained as a French literature?
Well, yeah, I mean, my degree's in French literature. I wrote my thesis on a medieval poet who was Europe's first feminist. And after college, I got this crazy foundation fellowship to study medieval cooking in Europe. It was a Watson Foundation Fellowship. And that led me to think about the intersection of food and culture and history. And in some sense, I've been doing it ever since. You know, if you read my books, you'll know that the history part is a very important part. The geography, the sociology, the anthropology. Even in a book like Project Smoke, you know, there's a lot of talk about how smoke fits into a culture. Because we think of, you know, our barbecue as the ultimate smoked food in North America, but in Scandinavia, you know, they love smoked seafood. In Italy, they smoke ham, they smoke cheese, they smoke mozzarella. Smoking is really a constant around the world.
This is a must for all who love to barbecue and anyone who knows someone who loves to barbecue. The book is called Project Smoke, St. Charles County Library on Friday night. Steve Rakeland, good, safe travels, and we'll see you here in St. Louis on Friday night.
Thank you. Great speaking with you. Bye-bye.
You got it.